All right, welcome to your deep dive. It looks like we're tackling The Stranger this time.
Ah, yes. Camus.
A bit of a head scratcher, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
But you seem ready to dive right in.
Head first, always.
Okay, great. So just to get us oriented, we're focusing on some key excerpts here, right? To really understand how Camus presents this Mersault character.
Exactly. Mersault and his, well, strangeness.
Right. And that leads to, well, some actions, some shocking actions. And that's what we're going to try to make sense of. You ready to get into Mersault's head?
Let's do it. I think what really grabs you about the stranger is how Camus throws you right into his mind. Right from the first line, you're seeing the world through Mersault's eyes.
Oh, yeah, that opening line. Talk about an attention grabber. Maman died today. Wow. Just, wow. So blunt, you know. No emotion like he's talking about the weather or something.
Yeah, it's striking. And that word, namen, it's like there's a deliberate simplicity there, a childlike distance, almost like he can't or won't process the weight of his mother's death.
It's really strange, like he's observing his own grief, not experiencing it. And that feeling, that distance, it just carries through that whole first part of the book.
Absolutely. I mean, think about his reactions to his mother's death. They're not exactly what you'd call conventional.
To put it mildly, he's more concerned about the heat, the fatigue, then he goes swimming, starts a new relationship. It's just bizarre.
It's like he's going through the motions of mourning without the actual feeling, the grief.
That scene at the vigil, he falls asleep. Who falls asleep at their own mother's vigil?
It makes you wonder, right? Is Camus making him out to be an outsider, a sociopath even? Or is there something else going on?
Well, that's what we're here to figure out, right? I mean, it's got to be more than just a quirky behavior.
Right. I think Camus is using Mersault to explore this idea, this really important idea in existentialist philosophy, this concept of absurdity.
Absurdity. Okay, I'm listening.
It's this idea that there's this fundamental clash between, humanity's search for meaning and the universe just not caring, just, being meaningless.
So Mersault, he's like the poster child for this absurdity thing.
You could say that. He's detached, living in the moment, not bothered by those societal expectations of how we're supposed to behave, how we're supposed to feel.
Okay, so it's not just a character quirk, this detachment. It's like a whole philosophical statement.
Exactly. It's like Camus is saying, look, this is what happens when you take away all the rules, all the preconceived ideas about how we should experience the world.
Fascinating and unsettling.
Definitely unsettling. I mean, he forces us to confront our own ideas about grief, about what's right and wrong, about how we even relate to the world around us.
He's like a mirror reflecting back all our anxieties about meaning and existence.
Powerful stuff.
And then, all that sets the stage for part two. What happens on the beach? Talk about a shifting gears.
Oh, yeah, that's where things get really intense.
It's like this detached observer. Suddenly, he's right in the middle of the action. And the consequences are, well...
Dramatic.
Dramatic is one way to put it. Yeah, dramatic is one way to put it. It's like one of those, slow motion car crashes. You see it coming, but you can't look away.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. First, we have all that stuff with Raymond, his neighbor.
Right.
And all that mess with his mistress and her brother.
Messy situation, yeah.
And then, bam, it all explodes on the beach.
That whole beach scene, it's like you can feel the heat coming off the pages.
Oh, I know, right? Like you're right there in the sand with him.
Camus, he's so good with those sensory details, The sun beating down, the glare of the sand, even the sound of the Arab's flute, just those three notes over and over. It's like unsettling,
Yeah, it's like the air is thick with tension, like something bad is about to happen. And then the shooting. And it's so weird how he describes it. So detached. It's almost dreamlike.
Mm-hmm.
He even talks about the sun, like, burning his forehead, making him step forward, as if the sun, forced him to do it.
Like he's not really in control, like something else is pushing him. And then that description, the knife flashing like a spear, he shoots once. And then 4 more times. It's so vivid, but there's no emotion.
None. It's like he's describing something that happened to someone else. And then there's the whole question of motive, or maybe lack of motive. Was it self-defense? Was it just, I don't know, the heat, the tension getting to him, or was it something else? Something more, I don't know, planned?
I think that ambiguity, it's deliberate. Camus wants us to wrestle with that question. Is Mersault a cold-blooded killer? Or is he just reacting the only way he knows how? It's like, how much can we really understand about why people do the things they do?
It's true. Even when we think we know what's going on in someone's head, maybe we don't.
Yeah, like he's an equation with a missing variable. We've got the pieces, but we can't solve it.
And that's part of what makes him so fascinating, right? But also frustrating. We want to, I don't know, categorize him, label him, but he he doesn't fit.
And that resistance, that refusal to play by the rules, it just gets more intense in the trial. The trial, it's not really about the crime, is it? It's about him. It's about Mersault.
It's like they're putting him on trial for being different.
Right, for being detached.
For not, playing the role of a grieving son.
The prosecutor, it's almost funny how he focuses on these little things, like not crying at the funeral or having coffee with the caretaker.
Right, so come on, those things don't make him a murderer.
But that's what Camus is getting at, isn't it? The absurdity of it all these social rules. We judge people not on their actions, but on whether they, fit in, follow the script.
It really makes you think, is he really guilty? Or is he just like a victim of this system that demands these emotional displays he can't or won't give?
A monster or just an outsider? Tough question.
And it stays with you, even after you finish the book.
It definitely does. And that brings us to the last part of the book, his transformation in prison.
Right. That's where we see him, evolve. Go beyond that detachment. Start to confront some really big questions.
Big questions about life, about death, about meaning. It's like prison, it becomes this catalyst for self-discovery.
That's interesting. So how do you interpret that transformation? It seems like a real turning point, in the book, but maybe also in Mersault himself. Yeah, it is a turning point. It's like, at first, he's just so indifferent to being in prison. Like, nothing's really changed for him.
Right, right.
But then he starts, like, really observing things. He makes this mental list of everything in his cell, gets into a routine. And then there's that story he finds about the Czechoslovakian traveler.
Oh, yeah. That story. That's a key piece of the puzzle.
It is, isn't it? It's about this guy who goes back to his village, expecting a hero's welcome. And then what happens? His own family murders him.
It's brutal, and it really highlights that whole idea of absurdity, right? Like, even when you think you've got it figured out, life can just throw you a curveball.
Yeah, and I think that really resonates with Mersault. Like, even in prison, even when he's, stripped of his freedom, there's still all this absurdity around him, and like a reminder that things don't always go the way we expect or want.
I think you're right. It's like by being forced into this very basic existence, he's finally able to see things more clearly.
More clearly, like how?
Like he becomes really aware of time passing, the power of his memories, and he realizes how little we actually understand about life. He even thinks about living 100 years in prison.
100 years?
Yeah. He says, well, I've got my memories, right? And my imagination. That's enough. That's a kind of freedom in a way.
Wow. Okay. And then there's that scene with the chaplain. Intense, right?
Oh yeah, that's where it all comes to a head.
All that pent-up emotion, it explodes.
It does.
Like he's finally, awake.
He's engaged, He's not passive anymore. He argues with the chaplain. He rails against like the whole idea of repentance. Faith, it's like he's rejecting all those easy answers, those expectations of how you're supposed to face death.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not playing that game.
It's a powerful moment. It's like his declaration of independence. He's saying, I'm not going to conform. Not even now. Not even facing death.
He chooses to embrace, what was it, the gentle indifference of the world?
Exactly. He recognizes that, the universe, it doesn't care about our little dramas, our fates. And in that realization, he finds peace.
It's strange, isn't it? Finding peace in indifference. But I guess that's part of what existentialism is all about, right?
Yeah. It's about accepting that life is absurd, that there's not always a reason, a meaning, and that's where real freedom comes from. Not from trying to force meaning onto things, but from just accepting them as they are.
So where does that leave us with our original question? Does understanding Mersault's mind make his actions more understandable or more disturbing?
That's the thing about The Stranger. It doesn't give you easy answers. It makes you think, makes you question.
I think we barely scratched the surface here. There's just so much to this book.
Layers and layers, the symbolism, the historical context, the philosophy.
So to our listener out there, if you're intrigued, you really need to experience this book for yourself. Dive into Mersault's world. See what it reveals to you.
Yeah, see what unsettling truths it uncovers. Because ultimately, his story, it's a reflection of our own search for meaning, right? In a world that often seems, meaningless.
Have you ever felt like an outsider, like you don't quite fit in? The Stranger invites you to embrace that feeling, to confront the absurdity, and maybe, just maybe, find a little bit of freedom in it.
Freedom in the face of, meaninglessness.
That's all for our deep dive into The Stranger. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.